guys? It's Kayla.
And Jim.
Welcome back to another Meteorology Monday. What are we talking about today?
Today we are going to discuss some changes that have occurred recently with the National Weather Service's issuance of winter storm warnings due to their updated criteria. Now you may have seen some headlines. I know Fox News has put some things out. Eddie and Kayla will pop up a few more that have come out over this past week. And we're going to talk about that and what that means to you. But before we get started,
if you find that you are enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below so you never miss the next one.
So coming from the National Weather Service from many years ago, they obviously still have their criteria and their protocols for how they issue winter storm watches, winter storm warnings. For this video, we're specifically going to focus on forecasted snowfall, one of many categories and criteria they look at. So the forecasted snowfall, basically when it reaches a certain threshold, they will issue a winter storm watch or winter storm warning. Now, a National Weather Service office does have what's called a county warning area. Well, what does that mean? Well, many states are obviously divided up into many different counties. So National Weather Service offices can cover up to 10 to 20 counties that they are responsible for. Yep. And those counties can be from different states. So let's say if you were, I'll just pick...
Greer, South Carolina. The Greer National.
That's right, Greer, South Carolina. They cover parts of North Carolina, they cover parts of South Carolina, another county or two over in Georgia. So they're not just responsible for counties in their own state. Some of those weather service offices that border other states will include some of those counties as well. So if you think about it, there's 122 National Weather Service offices across the United States. So how do you keep a consistent forecast with a storm that's much wider than any county warning area? So if it's going to dump a lot of snow, how do you figure all that out? Well, up to this point, up to this point, each National Weather Service was responsible for their own criteria. And what happens is sometimes you'll have counties that are side by side, that this weather service is responsible for this county, but then this other weather service over here is responsible for this county. So one of the things that they were looking at was consistency, establishing the winter storm warnings across different counties. So if this one had a criteria of 6 inches, but this one had a criteria of 4 inches, let's say, just because you cross a county line does not necessarily mean that threshold should drastically change.
Right, it's not like there's a line in the storm where this county is going to, be impacted more or this one's going to be impacted less when there is a snowstorm. So developing some consistency over counties with the same geography right next to each other, even if the same weather service office is not forecasting for them both, they should probably still have the same criteria for winter events.
That's right. So the main National Weather Service headquarters and entities basically said, you know what, let's establish a little bit more consistency across the United States so that it doesn't confuse the public anymore. What they did was they came up with criteria and worked with the local weather service offices to update these guidelines. So that's what we're going to take a look at right now. And we have a few examples that we want to do, but basically what we want to do is we want to show you the new map that they have, and we will put that link down below in the description, and we'll also give some examples when looking at that map.
So if you want to follow along with what we're doing, the link down in our description box gives you this GIS map, which is a geographic information systems mapping software. Basically just a piece of software that's really helpful for us meteorologists and people in similar fields. Lets us analyze a bunch of data, gives us this map, easy to look at. So this is what the NWS is using to help us visualize what the new warning criteria is all across the US. And the colors on the map dictate the amount of snowfall necessary for a warning to be put out based on the geography of each county and its location inside the country. So looking at the overall map for the United States, we can see there are a bunch of different colors, especially in the southern parts of the United States. This is because for those of us who live in the South, the amount of snowfall needed to give us a winter storm watch or warning is a lot smaller than, say, Buffalo, New York, or somewhere that gets feet of snow. You know, Minnesota people might be okay with a foot of snow before, you know, you have to close things down, but here in the Charlotte area, if the clouds look like they might, frozen precipitation, a warning goes out and the bread and milk is gone.
That's it.
So the colors on this map help to show and visualize which areas of the United States need certain amounts of snowfall to have the warning issued. You'll also notice that it is based on geography. So if you're looking at the Rocky Mountains area, you'll see different colors compared to counties that are adjacent to the Rocky Mountains but don't have the elevation associated with it.
And each color on this map represents the threshold for forecasted snowfall for that winter storm warning criteria. So as you can see by the legends that are displayed, you have the cooler colors representing the smaller amounts of snowfall, and then the warmer colors represent the higher levels of snowfall. Okay, now this is an interactive GIS map, so you can actually click anywhere, you can zoom in and click, and it'll actually pop up some details for you. Let's take a look at an example. So as you can see, we drill down into the map, and we're looking at Central Cook County, Illinois. When we click on it, you actually can see some of the parameters there. And if you look at the bottom, you see that the criteria threshold for Central Cook County is 6 inches. And if you look over on the color legend off there to the right, you'll see that 6 inches is that light yellow color. And as you can see for northern Indiana, northern Illinois, parts of eastern Iowa, that yellow shade extends across. So you can see the consistency from county to county and then state to state as well. So 6 inches is the threshold for those counties. Now, as you can see or barely make out, extreme southwestern part of Michigan has a more orangish color, and if we look at the legend, you'll see that it's 8 inches. Now you might be asking yourself, didn't we just talk about 2 different counties next to each other having drastic differences? Well, the reason for this case, and as they've determined, because you have a large body of water there, Lake Michigan, the wind flow during the winter time when it comes to winter storms affects that county more than the county to its south. So they have determined that the county to the south gets the 6-inch threshold, while the county there in southwest Michigan gets the 8-inch threshold. Let's take a look at another example. Looking at Jackson County, Oregon.
That is quite a mosaic of colors.
It is. It is a mosaic of colors. This is Jackson County. Medford is the county seat for Jackson County.
Just about to say, did you pick where you used
I did pick it. I did pick it. Why not? Shout out to Medford.
Dad used to work for the National Weather Service.
That's right. So the warning criteria for Jackson County is 4 inches. Now it's kind of funny because living in Jackson County, when I lived in Medford, Medford is in a bowl, basically. And so there are a lot of higher terrain around Medford. So it's curious that 4 inches is only assigned to Jackson County because of the much higher elevation surrounding the city. You would think, well, 4 inches, they're used to it, you might think a little bit more. But they have assigned the county to be 4 inches. Now, as you can see from Jackson County, as you go further to the west toward the coastline, those snowfall amounts actually drop off closer to the lower end of the scale, as you see on the legend on the right. As you get closer to the Cascade Mountains, they're off to their east, you'll see that the thresholds go up significantly. Let's take a look at one more example. We want complexity, right? Let's just go for it. How about Yellowstone National Park? In this example, we're looking at Yellowstone National Park, and the criteria for Yellowstone is 12 inches. So as you can see from this map, there are many different colors. That's because the terrain goes all over the place out there at Yellowstone. So the threshold for Yellowstone is 12 inches, and then there are some lower elevations where that threshold is lower, and there's higher elevations where that threshold is a little higher. So there you have the new warning criteria issued by the National Weather Service to establish a little bit more consistency from county warning area to county warning area. And you might be scratching your head going, wow, 10 to 20 counties per forecast office. What was some of the background to that? Well, they take into consideration geographical location, elevation, as well as large bodies of water, any other geographical features. So that's how they kind of organize them all together and say, this office is responsible for this, that office is responsible for that, and just imagine trying to tie them all together. So they have lots of procedures to do that to ensure our public weather forecasts are consistent.
Yeah, and hopefully this countrywide new scale that they're using gives us more consistency and doesn't leave, you scratching your head again, being like, well, I'm over here and they issued a winter weather warning and I'm gonna cross into the next county to go pick up some groceries, and it's a nice, sunny day, nobody's calling for Armageddon, and so hopefully this gives us some consistency across the board. While you guys are down in the description box checking out the GIS map and seeing what the criteria is for your own county, go ahead and check us out over on Instagram and Facebook if you want to follow our weather adventures. Hopefully here in the Southeast we will be able to post about winter weather events and warnings. Hopefully we will have our own soon. It has been many years since we have gotten a good snowfall, and our northern hearts really want some snow. Moved a little too far south. But after checking out our Facebook and Instagram, check us over on School of Weather if you want to learn some of the basics of meteorology, learn a bit more about severe weather, not have to do the calculus involved with going to school for it, and you get to see our faces and our wonderful explaining voices,
There you go. It's a win-win.
Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you at the next Meteorology Monday.
I get a drink.
All right.
I just leave. It's just you.
Hi, guys.
So long.
Just by myself now.